Hornady's Headspace comparator gauges, right now on Pirate Firearms and Reloading. Okay folks, so today I wanted to talk about some of the comparator gauges offered by Hornady. Now, just as a side note, I 3D printed this case here. There is somebody on Etsy selling these cases, and if you have a 3D printer, they're also available. You can download the file and print it yourself as well. So when Hornady do market these actually come as a couple of different sets, but this one case brings it all together. The problem with the Hornady thing, and it's a mine thing, is just the packaging. It just comes in a standard old blister pack, and of course, you know, they get tatty and things get shaken around, whereas this lays it out really nicely and makes it really easy to see. So the one I'm going to talk about here is the Headspace kit. So these are the Headspace comparator gauges here. The three things in common really, obviously the Allen key here to set it up, right? The actual comparator body itself, right? As an optional extra, they do sell this anvil base. I highly recommend it. It will make your life a whole lot easier. It gives you a nice big flat surface to put the base of your case on. Particularly if you've got a large body case, you know, 223 Remington here, like I'm going to demonstrate with today, is not so bad. But obviously your caliper jaws are rather thin. So those two, and for today, we're going to look nice and conveniently on the bottom of this 3D printed lid. It lists all the calibers, and we're looking for A for the 223 Remington. This is all on the instructions that Hornady provide as well. So we're going to take out the A Headspace gauge. Just put that off to the side. So how you put this together is really simple. It's all very nicely made, all aluminium or aluminum, depending on what part of the world you're in. So you insert the gauge into the comparator body and just tighten up the little grub screw. You're only securing it, and so I don't use it in the full leverage position. I just do it like that, just so it doesn't fall out, basically. Then you want to take your calipers, open them up, and place the gauge in here. Now, if you didn't have the anvil base, you could just set it up like this, and then you obviously zero out like that, so your calipers are nicely zeroed, and then you could just measure it like this if you truly wanted to. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. That will give you a pretty good result, but you can see the case has a bit of room to sort of move around, whereas if I put this anvil base on, and the trick I've developed is sort of sandwiching it all together with the calipers like this, and basically when the jaws are compressed like that, that's when I tighten the little brass thumb screws like that, and then obviously zero it out again, and now you've got a nice big flat surface. So what this particular gauge is going to do is going to measure the midway point, the datum line of the shoulder, giving you a headspace reading. Now, if you want to know what that's used for, I have another video in my reloading series where I talk about measuring headspace and bumping a shoulder back tooth out, and this is where this gauge comes in. So I can get a quite a clear headspace reading from that. 1452.5. I'm not so worried about the half personally, and we can check all of these if we want and just see how consistent they are. So I did see a half there, but yeah, pretty consistent really. The shoulders are all relatively the same size. Now, the reason this comparator gauge, the actual gauge itself, is so long is so you can test completed ammunition. The other thing you can do is if you're using factory ammunition, what you can do is you can measure all of your factory ammunition for consistency. You can then sort your ammunition by headspace. It's one of the other things you can obviously do. So You can use that to compare a fully resized case versus like a once fired case. You can do all sorts of consistency checks with this kit. It's really handy, and it's one of my favorite little pieces of reloading equipment from Hornady. So that's it, really simple. Now if I was going to do another case, say let's just pick 308, nice common one. So somewhere in the list here, when I find it, you'll find 308 Win is a D. So I'd come back to the kit that I've got here, and instead of doing it with the A gauge, I'd be doing it with the D gauge, right? And they actually do have the measurements on there too. So you've got 350, 375, 400, 420. So that corresponds with the diameter of the datum line on your case. So if you have a case that's not listed here, you can always look in your reloading manual, see what it should be, what the diameter of the datum line should be, and then you can fit the appropriate gauge. But yeah, really nice little kit. These are obviously the Hornady calipers as well. I just picked up a couple more sets because sometimes I get sick of taking these things on and off. Like if I wanted to measure, just say overall length, I then have to take that body off in order to do so, right? It's not the end of the world, but if you're setting up some dies and getting your setting depth perfect, or you're trying to get your shoulder perfect, 2 sets of calipers is always a bonus. But there you go, folks. So like I said, the anvil base is a separate item. I think if you buy the deluxe kit, you do get the anvil base included. And then when you're done at the end of the day, remove the gauge from the body, drop it all back in the nicely little printed case. Like that. Back nicely in your drawer full of the rest of your reloading equipment. So folks, once again, that is the Headspace comparator set from Hornady. And in another video, I will come back and I will cover these little guys here, which you also may have seen me use in another video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I release new videos every Friday, so hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on anything. See you in the next one.